What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna go through some how-to, some tips on installing keyless entry central locking kit system into your 99 Miata. I'm assuming this will pretty much stay current for any MB1. Most of the stuff will most likely apply to all first gen, second gen Miatas itself. Looking online, I found a lot of information, but some of it didn't make sense, or it was really old and the pictures were really bad. So this is some of the stuff that I went through in order to get that working. So pretty cool. Not that bad of an install, and I'm someone that when it comes to electrical or wiring or anything like that, the most I've done is a radio. And that's because I got it through Crutchfield and they supply me all my harnesses and stuff like that, and basically it's just putting the colors together. But other than that, I don't do this. Like, I don't wire stuff up. Majority share of what you need to do is actually just taking the time to pass the wires through the car, pass it through the door. I did a lot of guessing and checking when it came to actually installing the actuators. So my video honestly isn't that in detail for you, but it'll give you a really good idea of what needs to be done, because I didn't want to record everything and one, my phone would probably die, but two, put you on the wrong direction. So as you do this, or as you want to go through this, watch the whole video. The actuator is the biggest pain in the butt. You want to have it as like straight to that rod that actually locks and unlocks your door, manually, as you can hear. Now you hear the actuator because it's like moving the piston thing or whatever, the actual actuator. So it is a pain in the butt to get the actuator down, but if you have an MB1, just follow my directions. Like, the kit comes with two rails, and the rails weren't long enough for how I installed it. And I saw this install on some old pictures, and I was like, let me try that. I tried drilling holes and putting the actuator down below, and it would have been a super clean install. And then, running the actuator pole thing that connects to the mechanism for the car, it just wasn't working, wasn't giving enough power in order to do it. So you have to do it this way for an MB1, or I would say this is the best way to do it. Go to Lowe's, get these rails. I probably have a copy of the receipt. It costs a couple bucks. This whole thing will cost you $50, including the kit and taxes and stuff. You'll have to buy some screws, but basically you're gonna buy a rail that's gonna go from one end of the door to the middle of the door, and then you're gonna take, if you want to buy new rails you can, but then you're gonna take the rails that came with the kit, cut one in half, so you have one for that side and one for that side, meaning you have two rails, but you need two on each side. And I know I'm babbling because I'm just trying to remember everything. And then you mount the actual actuator below it. And when you do that, now the actuator is literally lined up perfectly with the rod that moves the lock and unlock. So pretty easy. Get yourself some wire cutters. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need a metal hanger to fish stuff through. But overall, it takes some time, but most of that time was me just trying to figure it all out and then cleaning things up. When you have wires, especially as thin as the wires that are going to be going through the door, you want to protect them a little bit. So I wrapped everything up in electrical tape, whether it's from here to here. Underneath over here, under the dash, I didn't wrap it all up because I might look into actually connecting it to the lights. And the other thing too, I kept it super simple. So all the wiring that you see, none of it is actually hardwired into the car, which is, for me, a big benefit. So if I can remove it, I can remove it. If I need to remove it, I can do it. If something breaks, I can easily replace it. I didn't want to cut into any of the wiring on the car, and I did that with a fuse tap. And in my video, you'll see that I only have one fuse on the fuse tap, because when I was at AutoZone, the guy's like, you only need one fuse. I'm like, are you sure? There's two slots for fuses. And he's like, you only need one. I go to test it, nothing. But then I just put another fuse in, and we're good to go. So, whatever. It was a simple fix. But I fuse tapped it. So I fused it right into the room fuse, which is a constant power fuse. So even when the car's off, you still have power going to the keyless entry system, because obviously you need power all the time. The system has been installed for about 3 days now, and the car still has power, so it's not draining the battery or anything like that. This isn't a car that I drive every single day, maybe a couple times a week, if that, because it's a two-seater and I'm married and I have a kid. But I wanted some extra like luxuries or extra abilities in the car, because my other car is a 2019 and I have keyless entry, lane keep assist, push to start, Android Auto, a bunch of stuff. So I wanted just the ability to lock and unlock my car, because anytime I do drive, typically someone's with me and it's nice to just hit a button and open the door. So follow through this video, watch the whole thing. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. So again, this is like a how-to / tips video that I hope will help you out. You're gonna need, again, some simple tools, nothing crazy, a razor, screwdrivers, things like that. As you see in the video, like my door panels had all different types of screws and bolts, so I don't know how many of those are actually factory. I just bought some new fasteners at AutoZone and I just use those instead in the end. But pretty simple install. Actually like the actual fob, it's actually pretty clean, goes good with my rinky-dink key itself, but pretty simple install. I haven't done a lot to the car, most of it's cosmetic. I've done a radio, I've done some lighting here and there. And when I say lighting, I just did like remove the mirrors and did lights that way, and that was a kit that was plug and play pretty much. So I'm expanding, more than happy to answer any of your questions. We'll take it from there. Thanks. We're going to start off on the driver's side door. This is a 99 Miata NB. All the wiring is actually for the keyless entry system. I'll link it down below. The kit was like 35 bucks on Amazon. Comes with 2 fobs, 4 actuators, and the module. Obviously it's the Miata, we only need 2 actuators. So in order to remove the driver's side door, you need to pop out 2 fasteners here. The car's already missing one. Take out a screw in the door handle. There's another screw underneath this felt, which is already missing. And I think there's supposed to be a screw here, but there's a fastener. If you have the tweeter, when you remove the door handle, the door panel, be sure to disconnect it. Now you want to remove the plastic surround stuff. The black stuff there, you have to be careful, it stains everything. But now's also a good time to lube up your windows and take care of anything else, like replace the speakers if you want to, since you're already here. Take apart the passenger door now. Now, some cars actually have a power actuator in the passenger side, and the driver's side is supposed to unlock the passenger side. It's never worked for me. I tried it this morning and it still hasn't worked. I've had the car about 2 months. I've done some things to the car. Never had the actual passenger side unlocked. But we're going to take it apart now. So the actuator, we tried a couple different areas to mount it, and it needs to be pretty much perfectly straight with this right here. If the rod for the actuator is bent at all, or too much I should say, it doesn't have enough force to bring this back and forth. And obviously you still want to be able to manually lock and unlock when you're inside the car. So that being said, we tried drilling here and mounting on the back side or the front side. Didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a big bracket from here to here, and then do 2 extended rails, I guess you can say, here. So that way it's going to mount right here and pretty much be lined up here. So we're going to give that a shot. For the time being, I'm doing the wiring. I see a lot of people just put it right through here. I'm going to obviously put electrical tape to clean this up and to, prevent it from potentially cutting right there. And then the next thing I did, let's see if I can get a better view. There's this rubber grommet. Some people somehow pass it through here, but I think it's different kits. This kit, I think, has too many wires, which honestly, I don't know if I need all the wires, but it has too many wires. But on this side, you have this right here, and this one has a big space in it. This one is like a big white plug, the whole thing. But right here, you have a lot of space. So what I did is on the rubber side, I just slit a little hole and I pass all the wires through here. And again, gonna electrical tape it all. But then this is just gonna cleanly go back into place. To give you an idea, it's all right there. So here's all the actuator wiring right here. And obviously it's gonna pass through here. Again, never done this before, giving it a shot. But yeah, that's just gonna go, let's see, back into place, like so. And that's just gonna be all clean there. It's a little hole in the grommet for the wiring. As you can see, I said electrical tape it all. And people have it just pass through there, so it seems to be a decent spot. Hopefully it doesn't tear it. But yeah, this is definitely a harder project than I thought it would be. My plan is to actually take the module and most likely put it underneath the steering wheel. But most likely I'm going to have to run the wire through the dash area in order to get to the passenger door. So for now, I'm actually going to remove the radio. If you don't know how to do that, there's probably a bunch of videos on YouTube, because that's how I learned it. But move the dash, pretty simple. Take off these screws. I already have them out because I knew I was going to be doing something to this. Pop this out, take out this screw, or 2 screws. There's another couple screws here as well. When you're pulling this whole console out, make sure you run these through the hole, or push them through the hole. And then it pops over here too, so just like that. So again, mine is pretty much out because I just did the radio not too long ago, and I do want to actually hide all this wiring here, which I haven't been able to do yet for the sub back there. So pretty simple. I'm gonna do that. There is a ground point right behind the radio that I actually have the radio grounded to, so I'm gonna ground this box right to that. And everyone online keeps saying to tap into the constant radio power, so that's what I'm gonna try doing too. Right now, I'm just trying to get the wires to where I need to go. I'm gonna wire the whole car up, figure out the actuator situation. I'm obviously not gonna put power to it, but underneath here, I'm assuming my car is missing a big plastic piece because it looks like there should be something covering all this. So if there's a plastic piece there, remove it. Then obviously just run the wires through. You'll be able to just stick your hand in there. I got pretty chubby hands, so if I can get my hand in there and actually grab it from underneath, you should be able to. Ran it behind this pillar. I'm actually gonna ground it here. I grounded my radio here, and then I'm running it through here. So that way I can take the 1 blue and 1 green wire and put it through the passenger door. Here's a look at what it looked like before the actuator was installed. You'll need to drill 1 hole here. You'll need to do this on both doors. 1 hole is actually already there, so at least that's all taken care of. I use rivets to install everything. Alright, for the passenger side, I did the same thing. I put the wire through this hole. This one is a total pain in the butt. On the driver's side it was easy, you got full access to it. I took a little piece of clothes hanger, metal clothes hanger, and just cut it, kind of like a big U, and finesse it in there, and then you can pull it right through there. But again, total pain in the butt. So put the wire through, and then obviously tape the wire to the electrical wires, and then pull it through. But again, total pain in the butt. And then I'm just wrapping it in tape just in case it does rub right here. From what I've noticed from the other side, it doesn't seem to move. And now I'm going to cut a little slit right here, but I'm gonna do it from the other side to make sure I don't cut anything. And I'm gonna pass these wires through there so it ends up right inside here. Alright, so we got it wired in. I'm gonna tuck this in. I taped the heck out of it. It's going through here. I'm gonna tighten the zip ties when I know everything is working. And I'll be able to pull this more than that way when I know it's working. Now, according to some stuff I saw on Amazon, according to the review, some people who have a Miata say you actually have to do these backwards. So instead of blue to blue, do blue to green. So I did that. This is the passenger side. So I did rivet. The bar that comes with the kit was too short to do this. So I actually went to Lowe's and got this rail thing in the plumbing section. It was probably double that length, and I cut it. I bought two just in case. And then I took the bars that actually came with the kit and I cut them in half to make like a rail for this. So then I just got some 4mm screws and I put them in here with some lock nuts, and then on the back, it's opposite of this, same thing. I just used the screws that came with the actuator to mount it. Looks pretty good. Then obviously you just put this thing here and it should work. Now I just gotta figure out how to do power to this whole thing. So I bought this mini fuse tap. Mini because the Miata has mini fuses. Never used one before. Seems pretty set in stone. So I'm gonna hook up to the room fuse. So this is the wire from the alarm system. This is the fuse tap. You take the fuse out, you put it into the fuse tap, and you put the fuse tap in. And that should be an easy way to get power to the alarm system. Don't really want to cut into any of the actual car wiring, so I'm not going to hook up the light flashing or anything like that. I just want keyless entry. We'll keep it simple. So hopefully this works. Alright, so I'm tucking everything back in. I'm going to deal with this stuff tomorrow on the length, but zip tied the wire here and there just to keep it out of the way. I'll cut the zip ties later. I did mention before that you have to reverse the green and the blue on the MB. That's not true. I guess it only applies to NA. If you're doing this on an NA, try it, don't try it. It's up to you, but we are fully operational. It's obviously unlocked, locked, it's locking, unlock, it's unlocking. So we are good. And I have blue on blue and green on green. Alright, so did an electrical tape wrap throughout the whole wire. When you're hiding your wire or securing your wire, be sure to not have the mistake I did. Put this behind this metal bar, this one right here, that actually opens and closes the door. Is it gonna make a difference? Probably not, but might as well. I actually did it on the passenger side, but I already hooked this all up, already taped it up, completely forgot about it. There's a couple areas that you can zip tie to. There's a little hole in this rail. And this thing right here, which is some type of thing that's there, but I zip tied to it. Put the window up and down to make sure nothing's hitting. I have the window up right now, but I just put it up as a test. But when you put the window down, you'll see, like, obviously the mechanisms, this little stopper that moves up and down. So you want to make sure that none of that's going to hit the wire, cut the wire, interfere with the wire, pull the wire. So you want to zip tie everything away from all that stuff that's moving. I really hope this video helped you out. This is an awesome Miata community out there, so this is my way of kind of just giving back a little bit. So if you have any questions, comment down below, like this video, subscribe for more Miata, tech, anything related videos. If there's something else you want to see, just let me know. Thanks, guys.